How's it going? I'm Rob. I'm your host. Welcome as we take a psychedelic journey. No, please, no, just stop. I'm not talking to you. I know you think I'm doing a show for you, but I'm not. Can you? Oh God. Can you please lay down? Lay down. Okay, come here. Come here. Just lay down. Oh God. I just can't do anything. I can't do anything without an animal in my lap. Okay. What's up, Primal? How are you? Can you just go chew your bone? Please. How about I pet you for a minute? Okay? I'll pet you for a minute and then you go. No, you're not chewing your bone in my lap. No. No. You go over here. There you go. All right. Oh, God. What were we even... I don't even know. Let's start to talk. I am your official guide, your commentary guide, your sarcastic commentary guide through the news on this news day. Every day's a news day. What's up, Jess? Got to stream in an hour, so I'll be doing that, but I'll be here till then. That's so cool. How is the affiliate? How is the Twitch affiliation coming? You could say you're loosely affiliated with Twitch. You could say that. You could say that. That's cool. I got to do that. I just don't have the time right now, but I really want to do that. I got to get a little, I got to figure out how to set up. Jess, do you have like the face cam? What are they called? Webcam, so you can see your face while you're twitching away. $57. Holy smokes. All right, there we go. Yeah, I gotta get on Twitch, man. I gotta get on the Twitch. Maybe I'll do Twitch at night. That's what I'll call it, Twitch at night. Late night Twitch. After hours Twitch stream. Twitch after dark. I'm working on the title. That's cool. That's cool AF. I'm a PNG tuber. I don't know what that means. Is that like a JPEG? So no face cam. Oh, okay. I don't know what PNG means. What's up, Weatherly Patience? How you doing? Good to see you. PNG. Isn't that like an attachment? They're like, hey, please don't send it. Please don't send a JPEG. Make them all PNGs. And you're like, oh, what the fuck does that even mean? Anyways, we gotta go. I'm gonna take you on a cosmic ride through the news today because there's a lot of stuff. Jobs. America's losing them all of them. Not a good jobs report, but what do you expect? You know, this is the Gilded Age again. If you know anything about the Gilded Age, the robber barons hoarded all the wealth while everybody else suffered. It led us to the Great New Deal. That New Deal that was socialism. Anyways, Donald Trump thinks he's the best in the world, and the reporter says, nah, not everybody's saying that. Not everybody's saying that. We got the job numbers. We got a FAFO of the day. I'm excited for this one. What's this guy's name? 75-year-old John Gannon. That's a MAGA name. John Gannon. Stop. Please, dog. Sit. You can't get in my lap. I know I'm talking to you. You're getting excited. I'm gonna have to kick you the fuck out of here, man. This is the worst thing about doing it in front of a live studio audience. Ow! It's like a still image that talks. Oh, that's cool. Starting point for two VTuber stuff. Okay, you fatso, you fatty, attention-grabbing baddie. Yeah. See, you were too big to sit in my lap, and I have shit to do. Good God, man. No, not having one of my dips. You got the lips for it, but I don't think you can give dog dips. Leave that to Asmongold. Asmongold banned on Twitch, only for 7 days. But still, banned. Remember we talked about Asmongold? Do you love the dog? Would you like her? Here, take her. Would you like... I'm glad Rex likes the dog, because this is irritating as hell. I don't want to be a live streamer where I have a sweating piggy snort oversized tank in my lap. I'm gonna have to kick this dog out because I can't. I need to be able to focus, you know, when I have all these little tan Coca-Cola covered hair. Oh, you can't even Stick your head up so people can see you. Don't be a jerk. All right. Anyways, we got news about FAFO of the day. Yeah, a little meatball. But I'm running a promotion where every 100 to the Trans Path Foundation GoFundMe, I give 10 subs. Oh, that's a cool promotion. I like that. Stop. You're not pressing the mouse. You're not pressing the mouse. I don't know what this dog is trying to do. Are you trying to eat the mouse? You are. Okay. Yep, you can't eat everything. No, you can't. I feel like this is, what's that movie? Turner and Hooch? Did you ever see that one? Did you see Turner and Hooch? You look like a really small version of the Hooch dog. Do you know that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is not, we're not going to do this for a long time because I can't. So John Gannon, FAFO winner of the day. We've got some Trump audio. We're going to talk about Asmongold. Asmongold banned from Twitch for 7 days. And then, if you've never watched, this is the other thing I like to do. I like to add value to your life, okay? There's some value. If you've never checked out That Surprise Witness on YouTube, she is the queen of YouTube. I will vouch for that. I'll vouch for that. Absolute stellar YouTuber, and irregardless of whether or not I agree with all her points, I think she's one of the intellectuals on this platform that is well thought out. I think you can have disagreements with and still walk away understanding where she's coming from. Her videos are usually pretty detailed. She knows where to find the info. And she's like a very classy TMZ. But I don't even want to use TMZ. She's like a very classy, well thought out, like upscale, not so much gossip, but like it's how news should be done. You know, I really, really appreciate BJ from That Surprise Witness. Because it doesn't matter what she's talking about. It don't matter if you agree with her. She's bringing the receipts. Let's say that. And if you know, oh God, Todd. I talked about Perez Hilton the other day, and it turns out earlier reports by media were wrong. We're wrong. Never trust the media. I don't know why I trust the media at all. You'd think there would be an ounce of journalistic integrity in any of this, but no. No. You don't know who knows who's banging who, you know, who's dating who's giving the inside tips, who's giving the outside tips, who's giving just the tip. You know, you just don't know anymore. So, dude, you're snorting so loud. Like, I can't go over here. Like, I can't do this. It's just so loud. You need to sit down. You know, you're hyperventilating. Yeah, you're hyperventilating from sitting down, you know. That's not good, just so you know. You're like middle America right now. Yeah. You know. You're winded from sitting down. I feel like I'm watching an American tourist in Paris. You know, they're like, I gotta sit down. What were you doing? I was just having a croissant, but now I need a break. Oh, good God. So anyways, I love the dog, but I hate that it's having problems breathing. It's not having problems breathing. It's trying to sit, because she's quiet. She's sleeping. She's quiet. It's that she wants to sit in my lap, but she don't fit. So me and her are both doing this balancing act, and it's straining her muscles, and she's winded. That's why I was like, she reminds me of an American tourist in Paris, where they're, you know, just sitting down having some food, and they're like, whew, I'm breaking a sweat out here. And you're like, whoa, what did you do? You just climbed the Eiffel Tower? They're like, no, I just had a croissant and a macaroon. And you're like, oh, you might be unhealthy. CJ, good to see you. How about Black Caucus saying, whoa, watch your language, CJ. Oh my goodness, you can't come in here and say Black Caucus. Saying, unless you vote for Hakeem to be speaker, you will not be allowed in the Congressional Black Caucus. Well, I say to them, you can suck my black caucus. You know what I mean? I love the. Oh, I read that. Poor baby. I'll help you out. What will you help me out with? Hold on. We can do something fun. If you're streaming, DM me on Discord and we'll have a co-stream. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Jess, sorry. I'm reading the comments backwards. My pixie. I missed you. I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up. Good to see you. I love when my pixies and my fairies and all my fantastic mythological beings arrive. It makes the vibe much better. Okay, so I'm gonna play surprise witness news for you later. Some Asmongold. Again, if you missed this audio, I'll play a clip of it. But he's banned. He's banned from Twitch. Only a 7-day ban. That is so good. This is fucking white privilege right here. This is white privilege to a T right here. But before we do that, we do have some news. And if you thought it was only lettuce that was unsafe in America, wrong. Well, the lettuce is unsafe. That's why I said only lettuce. It's not just lettuce. Now, if you like jalapeno peppers, oh, it's not just going to be your butthole that's burning. It's going to be all your insides. I don't know what happens when you get salmonella. I'm just guessing it liquidates everything on the inside and you seep it out of any pore, any hole in your body. But yeah, this is not good, folks. It turns out regulations for people, you know how, this is my favorite part of stories like this. And by the way, the diarrhea lettuce, still a thing. It's still happening. 22,000 cases. They're, you know, when they have a map of foods to avoid in America, I would say countries not doing so well, you know? Clean your restrooms. My God. My God. So yeah, so we still have the, what do they call it? The outbreak of the explosive diarrhea parasite in lettuce. That's still a thing. You can see the date, August 7th, where they're giving you a map of where to be careful of eating lettuce. Now, just in case you weren't feeling safe enough, now here in America, salmonella outbreak linked to jalapeno peppers from Chipotle and Qdoba. So bad news, you know, if you like going to Chipotle or Qdoba, I don't even think I've ever been to Qdoba before, but Taco Bell, Chipotle, Qdoba, all off of tonight's dinner menu if you're going out for a nice 5-star Michelin rated fast food drive-through American style supper. You know, wouldn't go there. I just wouldn't. Just me. This is me personally. You take your own risks, you know. Like when I was with my sister and she kept buying shredded lettuce, I was like, you fucking gambling at the wrong casino, sweetheart. I ain't doing that. You put lettuce on your food, you keep it the fuck away from me. I ain't dying from diarrhea. No siree, Bob. This ain't the 1820s. I am not, people will not be like, oh, how'd he go? Diarrhea. It's horrible. You should have heard his last moments. We said, lock that door and hit the Lysol. You know, like, I ain't going out like that. I'm sorry. I'd rather starve to death. I'd rather them find me malnourished than hunched over like Elvis Presley, you know, without the drugs. My God. My God. So anyways, what I was saying about this is the funniest thing about this is you'll see these people who call themselves libertarians, but they're not titans of industry. Like libertarian, just so you know, is just a titan of industry, whatever industry. There's someone who like, you know, has monopolized the industry. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, the Koch brothers, Dennis Prager. I think it's a Koch brother now. One of them died. Ugh, can't wait for that other one to meet his brother in hell. But those are the titans. Those are the people who have spread libertarianism to the poor fools who think they're libertarians. And libertarianism is just Republicans, but they just don't want the government to regulate their industry, you know? That's it. That's all it is. Okay? Explain it to you like you're 5. Okay, libertarians. You want the people who run your industry to be able to do whatever they want to you with no pushback or regulation from the government. So anytime I see a story like this, I always want to find the libertarians and be like, hi, how's those deregulation? How's getting rid of those people who go and check on those factory farms and go check for the outbreaks and check on your food to make sure it's okay? How's that deregulation coming? Is this working in your favor? you know? And if they say it is, then say, okay, go order a bowl of jalapeno peppers from Chipotle if you like to live dangerously. Because that's all it is, man. Wait a minute. What does that mean? President Reagan, I feel like the righty whiteys are framing the Mexicans. They're trying to make it it's like a cartel. They're like, we're gonna just poison some of the food and do it in Mexican places. That way they'll amp up the deportations. Well, I mean, the lettuce one was by some white dude CEO, and if you read into the stories, I don't care to because it's the same. It's the same story anywhere you go. When it comes to the diarrhea lettuce, it's the same exact thing. It's like some really rich white guy who lobbied for deregulation so that people would stop checking if, people were washing their hands after they went to the bathroom handling the lettuce. And he's like, finally, good God, man, got rid of that regulation. And then there's like multiple, outbreaks of salmonella from his plant, and he just pays a couple people to make it look like it wasn't his plant, or he pays a fine to not get it in the news. And that's all it is, and it's the same thing. And if you look into this one, it's like, oh yeah, this guy's been doing it for years. He's probably a MAGA Trump friend who just want to deregulate. It's all the same thing. They got buddies in the government. They're heavy lobbying for deregulation of their industry so they could just make things faster, Yeah, things will go a lot faster. Yeah, until everybody starts dying from your diarrhea lettuce, like, I don't know, that's like a thing. That's why, like, when I long-term goal this, I'm like, what is the goal of these people? To make a quality product or to make the most money and maybe kill all their customers? Do you want to have longevity, or you're just like, dude, we don't care if the diarrhea lettuce infects the people. We just don't care. Like, make more people. Like, we don't care about those ones. There's going to be some lot. Like, what is this, war? It's almost like they treat industry as war now. They're like, listen, there's going to be some loss of life. And we're like, you're in the lettuce industry. And they're like, yeah, that's the tough thing about lettuce these days. And it's like, well, no, you could just take your time, make a quality product, and maybe just not make $40 billion, make 39. And they're like, oh, no. That will never fly with Wall Street, our masters. We have to go and pray to them every night in the lower bunkers of Wall Street to a goat's head. While we bring a sacrifice, anyways. So yeah, I had to warn you about that. Because not only is the lettuce contaminated, but good God, folks, I hope you don't eat a Chipotle still. Didn't Chipotle just have a big thing? Didn't Chipotle, like, just have a thing? Not looking good. I gotta look this up. I know it did. Chipotle last food thing. What was the last food thing? No, I don't want to know about leftovers. They are last. Was it salmonella? No, that's this one. What was the? Oh God! Minnesota woman hospitalized with sepsis sues Chipotle. Good for her. It cites the company's history of foodborne illnesses. Oh God, if you're eating a Chipotle, you just must live a dangerous life. You must be like one of those, what are the people that jump, the free base jumpers? I believe if you eat at Chipotle, you are like a free base jumper. You're just like, I need the rush, man. I need the rush. I don't know which bowl is going to give me sepsis, but oh, the thrill of it. The thrill. Now, I know Chipotle had some kind of last foodborne illness outbreak to 2016. Is that what it was? It couldn't have been that. Declared the end of, it was E. coli. That's right, E. coli. E. coli. That's right. They closed all stores nationwide in 2016. Yo, this is peak capitalism. Every 10 years, your favorite local American food chain has some kind of food outbreak where many people will die. And they're like, hey, this is the cost of capitalism, man. You wanted quick Chipotle jalapeno pepper bowls, few people are gonna have to die, man. What do you think this is? 2026? Nah, bitches. We're treating it like it's 1641. You know? You don't know where that water's been. We don't have the information on how to clean it. We don't have the workforce. Nobody wants to work anymore. The guy that cleaned all the jalapeno peppers got fired. I just can't wait till they link this to AI. You know, they're like, and it turns out AI said you didn't need to wash any of the vegetables, and the CEO believed it. Paid off my Guitar Center card. Good for you. What's up, Jessica? So you just ruined my day. I love jalapenos. Well, bro, if you grow them, you're good. If you buy them in a jar and they're pickled, you good. Don't get them from Chipotle or Qdoba. At least for now, for the time being, until this whole mess clears up, which I'm assuming will be, 5 or 6 years. So yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin your day, but you know what would ruin your day even more? Eating from Chipotle and going to the hospital for sepsis. So lesser of two evils? Isn't that what they say? JFK brought back measles. You mean RFK? Unless you know something we don't. Is JFK still alive? Yeah, RFK Jr. brought back measles. And I salute all those people in North and South Carolina that were brave enough to listen to that fucking moron. Oh, you're right. Foodborne illness only exists in a capitalist society. No, what I'm saying, in a capitalist society, they don't want regulations so they can make more profits, don't have to worry about paying workers or respecting workers or OSHA or anything like that. And that this is a trend here in America, where in a capitalist society, it's very profitable to not have to be regulated, to not have to worry about going through the full process. Do you not understand that? Do you not understand that, like, we're hitting like third world country levels of shit? Bringing back measles, E. coli, salmonella outbreaks. You know what I mean? And ironically, both of these, happening kind of in the Trump era. So it's okay. The dummies don't get it. The dummies are like, you can't tie capitalism to foodborne illnesses. You can, when you follow the money. And there's a bunch of, that's what I was saying. I'm not gonna bring up every article. You're not smart enough for that, And this is YouTube. I gotta keep people's attention. I start reading stats and like these long trails of like the history of the guy who did the lettuce outbreak. And I'm not kidding. People are posting about the diarrhea lettuce, and they're writing articles about how this dude, this white rich CEO who just wants to make more money and doesn't care at whose cost, because he's not eating his lettuce. Are you kidding? He's eating like organic lettuce from fucking Whole Foods probably until that has an outbreak. But he ain't eating his own lettuce, I guarantee you that. And he's just trying to, expedite the process, which is core capitalism. Core capitalism is that, treat the workers horrible. Don't allow them, or allow them as little as you can legally. Pay them as little as you can legally. Extract as much value as you can out of them, and it doesn't matter about the end product. Do you think the things in America have gotten better? Is that what you're saying? Or do you think everybody's overworked and underpaid? Like, there's only one correct answer. We don't have a cost of living crisis because people are paid too well, but you can dig into that. It's okay. Someone has, good to see you, Dusty. Someone hasn't even read the Cliff Notes of the Jungle. It's not about the jungle. It's about the unregulated systems. There we go. Yeah, right? And listen, I haven't read that book. I'm going to look it up. I would like to now. Oh, you can't type in the jungle book, Dusty. Just a heads up. If you type in the jungle space book, it goes to the Disney movie, which is great. Jungle Book. No, not 1967. I don't know how to look this up, Dusty. You're going to have to help me. The Jungle, a book about unregulated systems. We're going to have to do that because, okay? Published in 1906, The Jungle exposes the brutal realities of unregulated capitalism in Chicago's meatpacking industry. Sinclair intended to champion socialism and workers' rights, but public outrage over filthy food practices led directly to major U.S. food and safety consumer protection laws. And that's why those laws exist. Unsanitary food, systemic corruption, worker exploitation. Oh, this looks like a great fucking book. How do I get out of this thing? There we go. Thank you. 1906, The Jungle. Because if you're going to type in The Jungle book looking for it, it's just going to give you the Disney movie. But I mean, that what I was saying is even in The Jungle book, an unregulated system, if you think in life, you know, when they're like, something affects the food chain and the whole ecological system falls out of whack because once you get rid of either the smallest prey or the biggest predator, you know, it leads to mayhem. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's funny. Kind of. It's kind of funny. So anyways, yeah. Jungle 1906. Thank you. By Upton Sinclair. Ooh, a lot of people know about that book. Thank you. You guys turned me on to some new stuff. Who's doing anti-Semitic stuff? I just get rid of them. Chris, you know we had to regulate the meat industry because if they could, they would sell you rot. Yeah. I mean, I can't figure out if people are just seriously that dumb or they're seriously that committed to defending a system that wants to feed them rotted food. You know, like I can't figure out what it is. Whether like they're only on the internet to go into the comments and brag about how dumb they are, or if they're like, no, I got a heavy investment in selling rotted meat to people. I got to defend this. You know, I can't figure out what the take is. Like, because if you're just stupid, that's, hey, good news. You can learn. Good news. You learned something today. You know, I already took care of it. Thank you. So yeah, that's the good news, folks. All right, we're going to play some audio. We've got to play some audio. Oh my God, let's just keep doing a little news. I don't know if you guys seen this. This is from the White House Instagram. Fucking disgusting. There's so many things wrong with this. I would say the top one is like Mark Zuckerberg. This is just cool. This is just cool. Because number one, it's lying. Criminal illegal aliens will be caught and deported. Elon Musk is running rampant right now. Like he was in the White House at one point. That's a criminal illegal alien. He has criminal charges and he's an illegal alien. He's from Africa. Go back to Africa, Elon. It's the only person you could say that to. But this kind of ICE propaganda will not be tolerated. We will call it out every time we see it. So fuck ICE. Fuck the White House for doing this kind of propaganda. And they're holding children, some of them nonverbal autistic kids in detention centers with no access to doctors, with no access to clean water or food, with no access to overseers and people to check on the humane conditions. And we will not only never support this, but we will push for every single ICE agent to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law that they violate, that they're violating, you know, put them all in prison. And if you've seen anything about some of the people that are working ICE, you know, they say some of those who work forces are the same that burn crosses. Well, some of those who work ICE are the same that, you know, have CSAM charges and SA assault charge or SA charges and, you know, that kind of stuff. So not the people you want to give weapons to, sending after vulnerable women and children, which is mostly what ICE captures. Not only that, but they're murking Americans and deporting Americans to countries they've never been to. So weird. Let's get him, Spidey. Oh man. You know what? After we played that, let's go to the first faff out of the day because I love seeing people like that. Buckeye, where you from? Ohio? Fuck that state. And I'm sure there's some good people there, just like Donald Trump said. I'm sure there's good people on both sides. But if you're representing Ohio, my God, if you had a girlfriend or wife, I would hope ICE deports them. And that's the amazing thing about MAGA when you think about it. A lot of them like import their wives, like Donald Trump. You know, he's got that Slovenian hooker for a wife. What's her name? Melania. You know her from famously running that pump and dump meme coin. Um, and it's truly, truly incredible because a lot of these rich old white guys like John Gannon, who is on fucking, what is this, CBS Mornings, talking about how ICE took his wife and he's a MAGA Trump guy. It's like, well, what'd you expect? Did you think Trump or ICE played by the rule? Did you think they were truly trying to get rid of illegals? Is that why they were going to Home Depot? Is that why they're locking up kids and women? Like, they're not going to, is that why they're going to courts? Where you're not supposed to be able to go into courts to fucking get people. And they're going to their immigration hearings? Like they're following the law? It's unreal that these white guys thought they wouldn't be touched. Their lives would go unaffected because they voted for Trump. And it's unreal that as many, like a lot, J.D. Vance has some brown wife. John Gannon has some Venezuelan brown wife. Donald Trump has some white imported Slovenian whore as the wife. Who else? It seems like all of these guys have wives from other countries, and I don't know if it's whether to get here on a green card or they felt safe with an old rich white guy. I don't know. But I'll tell you, it's pretty incredible for a rich white old MAGA to have some import fucking wife and then vote for shit like this and be surprised. Let's listen to the surprise. Come on, John Gannon. Go on the news and embarrass yourself. Oh my God.
I voted for Trump.
Well, there's your we've identified the problem. The first step is admitting you have a problem, John. And when you have a guy who's like, we're just going to deport people. If you don't look American, we're going after you.
I am saying that they are picking up law-abiding citizens.
Law-abiding? I don't know if that's the word, John, but you should be better educated.
They're destroying families.
I love, and here's my favorite part about John Gannon saying, they're destroying families. Bitch, they've been destroying families since their inception. Since Donald Trump created ICE to distract from the Epstein files and that he wasn't going to release the parts where he was in it doing heinous stuff. Since they created ICE, like, was John Gannon out in the streets or going on TV because he's a rich guy saying, like, I voted for Trump, but I didn't want ICE murking American citizens in the street with zero accountability in the federal government blocking any investigations. I didn't want that. That's destroying families. No. This dude right here, this blue-eyed, white, fucking haired, rich guy, didn't care until they deported his wife, till they detained his wife. That's when, and this is the most heinous thing about Americans today. They don't give a fuck unless it happens to them. And just so you know, I'm Rob, this is my channel. I give a fuck even if it doesn't happen to me. I think it shouldn't be happening at all. And I don't think we should have Jeff Epstein's best friend running the country and calling all the shots. So my position in life is I've suffered enough. I've lived through horrendous tragedies. I've had to survive through multiple things. And what I took away from that is, God, if I can help somebody or defend somebody vulnerable in those situations, to not have to let them experience the absolute devastation that I did, let me speak out against that. That's why I do it, because I've lived a fucking brutal life. Okay? And you see these rich guys, these entitled Nepo baby style Don Trump looking motherfuckers who have only lived a life of exorbitant wealth, mostly from their parents, and think that they're the greatest gift to earth, and think that, they're entitled to it because of their prestige and stature in this society. And they start calling the shots, and they don't care who suffers. That's this guy's take. I didn't care that all this was happening until me. Now, all of a sudden, wow, it is ruining families. It's like, dude, you're the worst. I'm glad you're on TV and we get to see your face, because no one should respect you after this. Spend all your money to get Donald Trump out of office. That's what Jesus would tell you, okay?
Jobs.
John Gannon is a 75-year-old businessman and lifelong Republican who supported President Trump in 2024.
I wouldn't do that again. Not after this fiasco.
How young is his wife? Oh my God. Okay, just let me say, he's 75 and she's 28. I should have taken a picture of his wife. Oh, there's his wife. How old do you think his wife is? I don't think she's in it for the conversations. Let me just say that. I think she went to findmeamericansugardaddy.net, and that's how they met. John, I wish the reporter would be like, so how'd you guys meet? Were you out at the club? Little John came on, and you were like, what? Or what does he say? Like, whoa, yeah. I don't know what Little John says, but, I'm not 75 hitting the clubs to pick up a broad like this.
Fiance, 45-year-old Venezuelan.
She's 45? Is she dating a guy who's double her age? Holy shit.
Immigrant Yasmin Suarez Reyes was detained by ICE at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston in late July.
8 ICE agents swarmed
8?
Jasmine
Yeah, they were copping a feel, my friend.
and detained her, didn't tell us why, and rustled her off into a car.
Isn't that amazing? Detained with no, disappeared with no fucking, like, you understand, if the police are going to detain you, they have to give it, what is it, like a reasonable cause. What is it called? I used to remember this stuff. At this point, I don't care. The laws are fake. When detained by police, they have to tell you clear and, what is it? As for the reason, why am I being detained? Am I being detained or free to go? What is it? They need to clear an articulable something. Clear an articulable, oh, wait, where's the law guys? I love the law guys. Where are the law guys? A clear and articulable something, reason. Like, they can't just fucking disappear you. It's the whole point. Like, I love the founding father people, the constitutionalists, the declarationists, whatever these founding father people are like, I have rights. And then ICE is invented, and they're like, you can't, nobody has to tell you where they're disappearing you to. Fuck yourself. You're like, wait, what? What? All right, go on, John Gannon, 75-year-old who married a 45-year-old, clearly because they have the similar interests in things. Clearly because they both love Bad Bunny. That's what I'm going with.
When you saw that unfold, what went through your mind?
Well, I was just...
Let me answer this for him, reporter. He was like, excuse me, I'm MAGA. I voted for Trump, lifelong Republican. Do you not see the shade of my skin and the color of my eyes? I'm pretty sure she's safe with me, guys. Pretty sure I own this one. Like, that's what was going through his mind. His whole mind was like, I did the whole protect the blue thing. You guys remember that? I was one of the ones who wanted to refund the police. I believed in, like that. That's exactly, like, he's not going to be honest right now. He's not going to be honest. When the reporter's like, what's going through your mind? He was like, dude, I'm a rich white guy. What do you do? I bought that wife. I mean, that's my wife. Like, that was going through his mind.
Well, I was just in total disbelief.
You know why? Because he's like, I'm a rich old white guy here in the good old state of Texas. You should have some more respect for me. God damn.
According to her immigration lawyer, Suarez Reyes came to the U.S. legally in 2023.
Yeah, this is the story with all of the people that are picked up by ICE,
And later applied for asylum, a case that is still ongoing. But her underlying permission to be in the U.S. has lapsed. Some people may say this is what mass deportations look like.
They're not going after the hard guys.
Yeah, you mean the Epstein Associates? Is that who he's... The hard guys? Is he referring to the Epstein class? I don't understand. What's the hard guys?
That's too difficult. It's easier to pick them up at the airport. It's like...
Oh, shit, he just called ICE lazy. He said, you lazy bums. You're standing around at the airport waiting for an asylum seeker to rustle into a vehicle, disappear with 8 ICE agents. By the way, aren't the ICE agents, like, really fat, too? Like, do you need 8 of them? eight. Oh my God.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
He called ICE late. I love it. He's like, what a bunch of lazy bums. There's a cartel right at the border. Go after them. Why are you sitting at the airport all day? Use my tax dollars.
Juarez Reyes was arrested as part of a recent crackdown by ICE at airports across the country.
ICE is here, help us!
Back in Texas, Gannon says he deeply misses his fiancée.
Oh, you're going to have to keep deeply missing her, my friend, just like everybody else who has a person in detention center here in America. This is so disgusting that there's like Americans okay with this. This is so fucking crazy. You know, until it happens to you, and then maybe your disgust meter might rise up a little bit.
Who remains in ICE custody, facing deportation.
Jasmine's good as gold.
Oh, says who? You know? Says who? Says who? Maybe she puts the toilet paper on the underneath, and you're like, oh, what a dumb bitch. You know? Good as gold. That's your opinion.
Love Jasmine.
Oh, he's gonna cry. He's gonna cry. Oh my God. Fafo, man of the day, John Gannon, lifelong Republican, voted for ICE and Donald Trump. His wife got taken to a detention center. She's facing deportation. He's on the news crying about the day he's having that he voted for. Get the fuck out.
That's it.
There's it. Please shut the cameras off.
We contacted.
Oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry, John Gannon. All that fucking money you got down in Texas, they ain't helping you out of this one. Maybe you can tweet the president. Say, dear sir, remember when MAGA was doing this? They were all tweeting the president. They were like, sir, I've voted for you all 3 times. And unfortunately, gas is up by me too. I don't know if you could lower it in buttfuck Ohio, but that would certainly make my day, sir. Anyways, I hope you're doing okay. You know, John, you should have done a plea instead of crying at the end of your interview like some bitch made beta. Maybe you should have done a plea to Donald Trump. Been like, Don, look at me, buddy. Look at me, Donald. I'm white like you. You and I speak the same language. We press one for English together. Donnie boy, release my wife. Release my wife from your detention cages here in America. A sentence I didn't think we would be saying. You told me that in 2015, but here we are. Here we are. Old John Gannon's life falling apart because his wife is too brown to be in America.
Good as gold.
I don't like that. Good as gold. I don't believe it. Now I want to dig into her past, you know? How many immigrants did she murk, John? Because that's a little hard sell for a 45-year-old wife coming from a 75-year-old guy.
Love Jasmine.
Oh, good God. You love Trump more, buddy. You know, I wonder who Jasmine voted for. That should be the story, you know? The story should have been, and now we've written to Jasmine in the detention center to ask her if she voted for Donald Trump, or maybe did John Gannon make her?
That's it.
That's it. Shut the cameras off. I'm done. Oh, man, you should have done a plea to Donald. Do you not know how Donald Trump works? You donate $2 million to him, and he gives her a pardon. That's how things work with Donald Trump. You're like, hey, man, I really like that Liberty World Financial Mutual thing that you're doing. Here's a slick $2 million. By the way, my wife's details are on the backside of that check if you want to pardon her from your detention center. Like, that's how it works, John. That's how it works. I got more audio of John. Let's listen to more.
Do I feel? I feel totally betrayed.
Oh!
I mean, you never think, or I never thought a guy like me would ever be involved in anything like this.
I love it. I never thought a white old rich guy like me could ever face any consequences in America. You should have seen what we were doing in the 70s, man.
8 officers, ICE agents, swarmed Jasmine.
Oh, I love it. Not for her, but, you know, for this guy to truly understand the consequences of his actions.
Detained her, didn't tell us why.
Oh, yeah, we heard
rustled her off into a car.
They rustled her off into a car. Russell, that's a not just the name of a pervo who is releasing a book on how to become a Christian in 7 days. Russell Brand. It's not just the name, but Russell with a T. A lot of people don't know. Dumb has a B and Russell has a T in it. Not the name, but the Texan. You gotta rustle that one off. Man, that is a Texas word right there. And that is a Texas story. Old rich white guy with wife half his age didn't think because she had a name like Venezuela, Cuba, Dominica Republica. I don't know what her name was, but you know, she had a name like that. Didn't think she'd be reported because his white privilege card would be able to get her out of jail free once.
Good as gold.
Good as gold. Oh,
Love Jasmine.
shut the cameras off.
That's it.
I promise I wouldn't do this. I got an idea. Just buy yourself another one, man.
Contacted the Department of Homeland Security about this case, but have yet to hear back.
And you won't. She is gone, my friends. And she's probably not in Venezuela, let's be honest. They probably sent her to like Morocco or something.
Immigrants like Suarez Reyes would typically
Immigrants like, what? Is that a name? Oh my God.
not have been targeted for deportation and arrest under prior administrations. But the Trump administration has taken the position that anyone whose immigration status has lapsed
Or is a little too tan for our liking will be kicked the fuck out.
is fair game for enforcement.
Fair
I
game.
voted
Fair game.
for Trump.
And now you're finding out. That was the first part, the fuck around. And now you're finding out. Thank you, John Gannon, for the news today, my friend. That's good. That is good news. Well, it's just delicious news. Not good news for them. He definitely peed a little during the interview. He's like, oh, shut it off. Shut the camera off. Trump actually has a more violent criminal history than 95% of the people he deported. He battered E. Jean Carroll while he was essaying her. This is true. And that's just the judge's opinion. What's up, Charlie Kelly Steffelson? Good to see everybody. Troll Slayer. Three Dog. What's up, Three Dog? I ain't seen you in a while. And my pirate Rob. Look, I'm rocking this for you. We're pirates together, homie. All right. Big Gray's ball cards. Santre Taylor. I don't know who you're addressing, but if somebody's dragging their knuckles on the ground, I'm assuming we're talking about Joe Rogan. Troll Slayer, just remember, don't be getting rid of anybody unless they're saying slurs. That is the MO, because MAGA needs to hear this. MAGA needs to hear MAGA on the news crying about their wife being detained, you know? Sorry, buddy, been missing a bunch. Don't worry, I don't take attendance. I'm just saying it's good to see you, because it's been a while. That's all. That's all. That's all. Trust me, I'm not taking attendance. Three Dog finally here. That will affect his grade. I'm really not taking attendance. I'm just not. Trust your eyes. Anyways. I'm just fucking with you. See what it's like to live in my life. I just can't not fuck with stuff. My buddy was Joe Rogan's nutritionist. Oh my God, are you serious? Can he please come on my show? Please, beg him, beg him. I want to know if it was a consistent diet of elk meat, but just different parts of the elk. He was like, this morning we're going to have an elk horn milkshake, and for lunch we're going to have some elk hoofs, and for dinner we're going to have some elk tail and elk tail pasta. Delicious this time of year with some liver. I'm not here. Left-leaning Lindsay, I'm noting that. I don't take attendance, but she is not here. You're just logged in and you're not even listening. What's up, Nightshade? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Hit that like button for lower egg. Thank you. That is true. If you want lower egg price, if you want ground beef to go down or more elks to be plentiful, hit that like button. And by the way, even if you're new here, just drop a hello. Let me see who's here. Alma, because I'm not taking attendance, I promise. Alma's here. Pirate Rob's here. I'm here. Okay, I noted it. I mean, I don't take attendance. Oops, I opted out his name. Ooh, Starlight Zen Space is here. Love to see you. It's been a while too. That's my Zen Space. Ooh, we got more news. I keep getting distracted. Weatherly's here. You've said that too many times. Now I'm thinking you do take attendance. I don't. Weatherly noting if I'm taking attendance. Here, Three Dog here. Joe Rogan is eating the cats and dogs. That's where they are going. You know, I thought he had vacationed in Iowa or wherever they were eating them. You know, he's hunting them with a bow and arrow. Psycho. Tree Crew. Growing up in Montana, elk was the reason we survived a lot of the time. I believe that, but that's again, you preface that with saying growing up in Montana. Joe Rogan was growing up in Newton, Massachusetts, and then moved to LA and then to Austin, you know, the most democratic socialist part of the Republican state. He didn't go to like San Antone or Dallas. He went to the hippie loving freak central of Texas, where like they herd all the freaks into one city. And they're like, you guys have to stay here. Joe Rogan, the guy who's like, I'm sick of the liberal Californians. That blue state is horrible. So I'm going to move to the bluest city in a red state. Like, Joe, you're not a serious person, okay? But I was saying that because Joe Rogan, like, I don't know if he traps elk and then pretends to hunt them or just like keeps them on his property. And he's like, look at me. I'm a big bad hunter. Like, Joe Rogan doesn't necessarily need the hunt, you know, but his money allows him to. Elk is a specialty for him then. Yeah, that's all it is. That's what I was saying. And thank you, Tree Crew. Montana, big sky country. Was he a rich boy from Belmont? No, he was not from Belmont. No, I'm pretty sure it's Newton. Newton, Mass. Just like Bill Burr. Canton's own. We should erect a statue of Bilbo Bergens. Yeah, it's more of a specialty. I've never been to Montana. It's on YouTube. Oh my God, is that a, hold on. Oh my God. Did you just reference one of the greatest shows on YouTube? Did you just reference my king sarcasticist, R.M. Brown?
Watch me cook on this one.
Watch Dread Riot Pirate Rob cook on this one.
You don't talk against my newsman like that, or you go to hell.
Or you go to hell.
But I thought that was funny.
Thank you, RM.
Yeah, you shut the hell up, you moron.
Oh my God, change of attitude, jeez. How long before we get a Joe Rogan data center? Oh my God. You know, that's probably not, listen, that's probably not far away, where Joe Rogan's like, listen guys, I got a new sponsor in the show. It's a data center in your backyard. You don't buy anything. They just gave me a lot of money to promote it to you guys like it's a good thing. Have you been saying your water pressure is a little too high pressured for your shower? Do you think water comes out a little too clear and smelling a little too watery? Would you like some whole ground dirt in that? Maybe a faint chemical or old battery smell? Well, I'm Joe Rogan, here to promote data center in your backyard. Now listen, if you've been thinking electricity, so cheap I run it in the summer. Well, let me tell you, data center in your backyard can jump those rates by 300 to 300%, depending on how close they put it to your house. And if you were thinking, man, this home just ain't selling, if you really don't want to be able to sell that home, data center in your backyard. Or if you're like, I'd just like to get rid of my home and have the government take it and maybe bulldoze it, eminent domain. Brought to you by Data Center in your backyard. I'm Joe Rogan and I approve this message. You know, I know that's coming. That's coming. Did you used to call into the Majority Report? No. Do they have a phone number? I don't know their phone number. I would love to call into the Majority Report. Listen, I started in radio as a phone screener. And Sam Cedar, his radio station was right next to mine at one point. I don't think they were, I think he broadcast from LA. But like the Al Franken, Sam Cedar, who the fuck? What's his name? Chip Franklin? Chip Franklin was in studio. Because that's one of my regrets. He was doing a protest and my right-wing host sent me out there to protest him. Me and him got in each other's faces, but I was young and just stupid. I'm willing to do anything for ratings. Majority Report has a call-in number. Are they live right now? Oh, I can't call them on my phone. I don't think, no, they're live in the afternoons. No, but do you want me to call in? I would love to call in. I'll just be like, Emma, her name's Emma, right? Emma Vinland. Emma, killing it. You go, queen. And then Sam, love you. You go, girl. You know, I'd love to call in. I don't, but Sam is awesome. I do like that show. I used to watch it way more. I haven't. Air America. Booyah. Oh my God. Who? Hold on. The Swayze Express. Oh my God. Air America. That was circa 2008-ish, 2007. Oh my God. I think Janine Garofalo even got a show at one point. Oh my God, I can't. Sorry, you just threw me for a nostalgia loop right there. Um, what are the chances? Load up Rob Streamings. Talk about Trump again. I'm sorry, I just have a Trump picture in the background. We weren't. We were talking about Air America, and we were talking about a guy who voted for Donald Trump and had to faff out because his wife got detained. So, no, we can talk about Donald Trump, because he's constantly in the news lying. And anytime a elected official who works for the public, anytime somebody is in office lying for their own profit to mislead you, I will speak out against it. So, you're welcome. You worked at the Young Turks back when they actually stood for something. Oh, wow, that's cool. That they used to stand for something. And that you worked there. Sorry. Janine Garofalo. Yeah, why does that look weird? Is that really how you spell it? I believe you, but yeah, bug baby, alien dog. I started talking and she was like, "Are you talking to me? Can I?" See, you can't sit here. You snore too much. Oh, I think she's asleep. Are you sleeping? No. Okay. The Young Turks. Give me the money. Yeah. Unfortunately, listen, that's how it goes sometimes, Mark Maron in the morning sedition. Wait, Charlie Kelly, are you referencing the Mark Maron TV show? What was that called? Do you remember that? Hold on. Did anybody see Mark Maron's TV show? That is one of my favorite TV shows. Hold on. What? Yeah, Maron. It was just called Maron. That's it. 2013 to 2016. No, that's not it. Mark Maron TV. No. That's not it, because he doesn't do a podcast in it. Wait, is it? He doesn't start where famous radio guy on host. What was that show called? No. What was the TV show? I think it might have just been called Maron. I think it was just called Maron. It's such a good TV show. If you've never seen it. What's up, Timothy? Good to see you. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Be honorable. Oh, I like that one. Computer butter this dog. What's a butter dog? Are you a butter dog? I didn't know that. Emma was there when I started, so was Hassan. Hassan was on the Majority Report? I met him once in a meeting. Oh, wait. Oh my God. Okay. You're talking about the Young Turks. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Emma was on the Young Turks. I didn't know this back lore. I knew Hassan was. I met him once in a meeting. That's fucking cool. Do I know Mike from PA? No, but the funny thing is we had a caller on one of my radio shows, Mike from PA. I don't think it was the same Mike from PA. But I've heard him call. Like for more dog. Thank you, Dusty. Have I watched a new InfoWars? You mean the Overtaken ones? No, that was his show on Air America. Okay. Because he had a TV show that was really good. But Mark Maron, yeah, he was a radio host. That's right. Morning Sedition. 2004 to 2009. Oh, yeah. Those are the heydays of my radio, too. Oh, yeah. God damn. And look at how they've all done so well. And I'm here. I'm here. I'm bumming on the internet for cigarettes. You gonna spare a cigarette? All mics are from PA. I do believe that, Jessica. I do. That is one thing that I do. I'm like, I just think there's a lot of mics in Pennsylvania. Breaking. As of 5 hours ago, the July jobs report is negative 20K. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. All right. You need a square dog? All right, let's get to some news. Here it is. Hold on. Wait. Did I not take a picture of this? I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Here we go.
Yep, and we also have revisions actually for June and other revisions. Lauren, do you have those numbers?
Revisions for June, Maria, down by 37,000. May down by 66 combined. 3,000 fewer jobs created in the months of May and June, Maria.
Yeah, and that is all about the market reaction today is all about what this means for the Federal Reserve. Louis Naviler, how do you want to allocate capital in this environment where once again we're talking about Goldilocks, a Goldilocks macro story?
Yeah, the last I looked, FactSet was forecasting 47.4% annual earnings growth for the S&P this year, but that was before Palantir's blowout results. So we might hit 50% earnings growth on the S&P, right?
Yeah, because that matters. 50% earnings growth in the stock market is really great for all the workers who have been laid off. That will help us afford things. Great.
You've had 3 months now of real weakness in the job market. Is the economy moving into a new phase where we're losing jobs slowly but surely? Because that would not be good politically for the president, would it?
No, I don't think that's what we're seeing at all. And one of the things we have to remember is that in the Biden years, you would expect to see numbers north of 100 because there are all these illegals coming.
Listen, that's not it. It's Joe Biden. Remember how bad that was? This is child's play to that,
And really a stampede of them coming in and taking jobs. And what's happened is
it was a stampede of them. And now, because they're stampeding out of the country, helped by ICE, as you heard in the guy who is crying, the MAGA guy who is crying. Let's play that audio again, because I can't get enough of this shit. Oh my God. John Gannon, 75-year-old, married a 45-year-old Venezuelan lady, is crying because he voted for Trump and he detained his wife.
Love Jasmine. That's it.
Well, turns out she was taking somebody's job, but Fox News said, no more of that, you dumb bitch. You're not going to take the jobs of Americans who are losing their jobs. With all those American layoffs, they need those jobs. So
because we have a tight border and because we've been deporting folks.
They have been deporting folks right here. They've been deporting folks. I love it.
And says he deeply misses his fiancée.
He deeply misses his fiancée because she got deported for the job numbers.
Who aren't citizens, then that puts downward pressure on what the sort.
This is a kind of cool mashup. I kind of like doing this. I play this MAGA guy who's crying about his wife being deported, and then I play the job numbers, and they're like, "Listen, man, this is par for the course. We got to deport these people to get the jobs back." I love it. This is how the news should be done. They should be playing this shit back to back. They're like, "Listen, man, you wanted to keep your wife. What do you want how do you want the economy to do? Because we got to get rid of that wife if you want the economy to get better." Like this is the broken brain MAGA that we're dealing with. My new hero in Minnesota, No Mark. He has taken out 300 flock hammers and counting. God bless him. God bless you, Charlie Kelly. Thank you for the $10 super chat. No Mark. And listen, why aren't they using flock hammers to track the Epstein associates? Like, let's put those things to good use. If you're going to put those up, let's track those people every single time.
Barrel.
Suarez Reyes was arrested as part of a recent crackdown by ICE at airports across the country.
ICE is here. Help us!
Back in Texas, Gannon says he deeply misses his fiancée, who remains in ICE custody, facing deportation.
Jasmine's good as gold.
Good as gold.
Love Jasmine.
Bye.
That's it.
Shut the cameras off. I can't take it. But just think of the jobs, my friend. My MAGA friend. Weren't you voting for Trump for the jobs?
Then that puts downward pressure on what the sort of break-even job number is. That is the job number you need to have the unemployment rate not go up. And so about 3 or 4 years ago, the break-even number was way north of 100. Now our estimate is it's 40 or 50. So if you get a 40 or 50,000 jobs.
But why again? Why? Hold on, let me.
North of 100 because there are all these illegals coming in.
You hear that, John Gannon? You should stop crying. Think of the Americans who will go back to work at shitty paying jobs.
Love Jasmine. That's it.
We contacted the department.
Yeah, but they are not going to respond. They have no accountability.
Really a stampede of them coming in and
Stampede, you know, and they're trying to marry all these rich white MAGA guys. My God. Well, we're putting an end to it, folks. No more of these Venezuelan 45-year-olds coming in and marrying these MAGA 75-year-old John Gannons. I'll tell you that much. You know, you cry all you want, buddy, but this is what you voted for.
That's it.
That's it. You know, I don't know. This wasn't my take. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I didn't want any of this shit to happen. But this was. Let me put John Cannon back up. John Gannon. Let me put this guy back up. There's him and his lovely half his age wife. This wasn't. Listen, this isn't. I'm reiterating. You know, his vote. His vote for Donald Trump, because he's a lifelong Republican and said he voted for Donald Trump in 2024 when they were campaigning on deporting the most people ever in the history of ever. You know, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. You can cry all you want, but
Jasmine's good as
good as
gold.
gold, man.
Love Jasmine.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Maybe you shouldn't have married an immigrant, dude. You know, if you loved her so much, you wouldn't have hated her so much to vote for Donald Trump. Right? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out their logic, you know, because just a few short years ago, he was like, deport them all. Not realizing them all meant the lady standing next to him that he was engaged to, that was like, not born when he was 30, you know? Like, my Christ, dude. Guys, date women your own age. That's the other problem, you know? This is some Epstein-esque shit. Because let's do the math. What's the math on this? 75 to 45, that's 30 years. So, yeah, she was born when he was 30. My God. My gross timeline that we live in. And this is just acceptable. That should be the news story. The news story should be like, Chris Hansen should walk out of the corner and be like, so, what are you doing with a 45-year-old wife? Is that condoms on those pizzas? You know, like Chris Hansen should be out there being like, you do know she was born and you were 30? Like, you were practically middle-aged and she was just being born? What do you guys talk about? Like, what TV do you watch together? Tell us something about your relationship. Not that she's good as gold. Tell us, like, what you enjoy together. Can't be long walks, you know, unless you're sitting there on a rascal. My God, that should be the news story here. Like, man grossly dates woman half his age. Disgusting. Man who can really relate to her dad because they both fucking are the same age. It's like, hey man, I love your daughter. This is so fucking tapped, man. But anyways, yeah, that's John Gannon. He feels betrayed because Donald Trump detained his wife. But you know, Fox is saying they're doing it for the jobs.
north of 100 because there are all these illegals coming in, really a stampede of them coming in.
Stampede, just trying to marry these old white MAGA guys. You know, and the white MAGA guys fell for it. They're like, you couldn't be here because I'm rich and white, could you? She's like, no, me love you long time. And he's like, all right, I hear you. Go get in the spare room. And it turns out, you know, these people, you know, really against immigration, but then they're marrying them? Weird. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. Weird. Okay, I hope that, Peach Creek Media, or Peach Creek. Is that in Georgia? I feel like I've seen a place like that before. Peach Creek Media. The GOP promotes child brides, PDF, and other sick stuff. That's right, they do. I think that's part of their, like, you know, code. You know, there's a code on the street. There's a code in the GOP. They're like, listen, man, you can't join up unless you got certain charges. They're like the segregation unit in prisons, you know? Like, that's essentially the GOP. They're like segregated from the Gen Pop in prisons. And they're like, that's our mission statement. Those are the bylaws. And if you ain't got some domestic V charges, you ain't running nothing in this grand old party. Oh my God. Is it equally as weird for a man to date an older woman? Listen, let me just say this. If the age gap is that big, yes. 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 You know, if the person you're dating remembers color TV happening, like they were watching the show where like everything changed to color and they were like, whoa, you know, and you're somebody who knows what TikTok is, like that age gap should be, you know, like society should frown heavily upon that. Yeah, Tree Crew feels like it is. There we go. There we go. It's not like, listen, a few years here or there, you know, like I would say the window is a solid 10. And I mean, it depends on certain things. I would say like maybe an 11, right? 10 to 12-year gap. Like that's not respectable, but that's still like a gap where you're like, all right, okay, you know, you're just touching different generations. You know, you could be an elder millennial and a, what is the, you know, if you're still like the elder millennial to younger millennial, like I get that. But when you're talking, you were born and the person you are going to marry is already 30, and then you do it at that age, like that guy is 75, she's 45. Like, I just really consider that for a second. Like, really think about that. There are 75-year-olds in retirement homes. I don't understand how at 45 you're like, yeah, that's somebody. That's a body I want to sleep next to naked. You know, unless there's some kind of heavy incentive to do it, which I'm assuming this rich old white guy from Texas has a heavy incentive for her to do it, you know? Because he didn't seem that interesting. I don't know. Let me play the audio of him crying again. You tell me if this is some kind of charismatic dude.
Love Jasmine. That's it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He's crying on camera. I'm like, I don't know. She's probably happier, you know? Like my whole thing, I would have watched, what's that, Taken with Liam Neeson before I did this interview. And I would have been like, listen, I know I'm a rich old white guy, but I have one very specific skill, and that is to get her back. I've been training like fucking Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight, and I will get her back. I will defeat all of ICE. You know, like that's what I would have done. This guy doesn't care. He's like, I love her. I'm just gonna have to go to that website I found her on and get another one. Shut off the camera. Shut off the camera. You know, like, come on, man. Go Liam Neeson. I want to find a clip of Liam Neeson now, and I'll show you how I would have done this interview. And then we got to get to, that's Hollywood's Darkest Open Secret about Jared Leto. I really wanted to play some of that. We got to get to BJ Investigates, that surprise witness. I want to play that audio of Perez Hilton. And we got to play a little Asmongold. So I'm sorry I'm taking so much time, but this is the Fafau segment of the day. John Gannon, MAGA Republican, voted for Trump, his wife got detained, and now he's crying on camera. And what I would have done, let me show you. I would have watched Taken with Liam Neeson. Taken, Liam Neeson, I will find you. Yeah, get me the quote. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, hold on. Just so you know, instead of crying like a beta, like this guy, okay? Listen to this guy crying. Okay, dog. Oh, God. Okay, come here. I can't do this show with you in my lap. I can't do this show with you in my lap. Instead of crying like John Gannon does on TV, all that money, no backbone. Jesus, John.
City facing deportation.
Jasmine's good as gold. Love Jasmine.
Bummer.
That's it.
That's it. Shut the cameras off. I would have not have done that. I would have watched Taken on repeat. I would have fell asleep to Taken like it was a goddamn manifestation video. And then I would have got on, I don't even know this clip. I don't think I've seen Taken, but I know it's societal, cultural references. I'll tell you that much. So let's play this.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
That's how I would have ended the interview. I'd have been like, I don't know who these ICE agents are. And I don't know what they want. And I do have money, but they won't get it. But I'll tell you what. Over my 75 years on this earth, I've acquired a very particular set of skills. They call me the Texas Rustler. And I will. What does he say after this?
If you let my daughter go now.
Oh, he says, and I'll make them a nightmare for you. That's what I would have looked right. I would have been like, which camera is it, Bob? And that guy would have been like, my name is Jose. And I would have been like, shut up, Bob. What camera do I get my eye line into? And I would have looked right in the camera. Very particular set of skills, ICE agents. And I have an infinite money glitch where I just do nothing all day. My money compounds in interests. I will hunt you down. You know, that's what I would have done, man. Instead of this. I'll show you how these betas, these MAGA betas do start crying when their wife is taken. Bro, they made a whole movie about that called Taken. You watch that and then you recreate it. There's no laws. You know, you're a rich white guy. You can do whatever you want. Read the Epstein files. You can take a plane somewhere and take people away, take them to an island. You can do a lot of stuff and they don't care.
Love Jasmine?
That's not love. Love is, I have a particular set of skills and I will hunt you down. I'm going to make this a nightmare for your life. I'm getting all your badge numbers. You know, go Karen on them.
That's it.
Shut the cameras off. Bitch, man. You do the Liam Neeson.
Now, that'll be the end of it.
Yes.
I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Yeah, that's how I would have ended the interview. Yo, that's it. That was it right there. Oh, they're trying to blame Mexico for the whole poop disease? The diarrhea lettuce? Well, that's silly. That is silly. Because if you didn't hear, big news in fast food. Chipotle Qdoba, another salmonella outbreak. So cross those off the list. Don't go there. And yeah, I still wouldn't go to Taco Bell because that diarrhea lettuce is still affecting people. Oh, God. It is a rough day in America, you know? All right, let's talk about this. Now, if you missed it, Asmongold said that, again, these people that pretend to be alphas are truly betas, and just listen to their language.
Just shoot him, problem solved. That's what I would do. That's what I think they should. I think they should just fucking shoot him.
Right to the point. We're 5 seconds in. He already said the thing.
So this is Kyle Kalinske, the king of all media. In a little bit, we're going to hear from the queen, that surprise witness, playing the clip of Asmongold saying that about women and children.
They should just fucking shoot them. Talking about the children of immigrants. That's great. That's awesome.
They're going to stop coming over. Because if you don't do that, they'll use children and women as shields to get themselves over.
Like, this is not only the poorest fucking sense you could make, you know. It's so stupid. Number one. But number two, it's also like, is this not the party of protected kids? Like, I don't get it. I highly don't get this. Like, is this the party of protected children, or, you know, who cares about the children? But the bigger point is like, you're not talking man code language there. Man code language isn't like, I don't care. You know, you just take out all those kids and women. Like that. Talk to any veteran who's been in a war scenario where they got to do something like that and see if it doesn't affect them. You know? That's traumatizing. I love how these streamers can sit behind a camera and say stuff like that, believing that they're the men. They're the men. And then he goes on to call the immigrants savages and animals. But the most shocking thing is this guy, you figure a ban is in place, right? Like, that's wildly inappropriate, even for Twitch, even for Rumble. I don't know. It just seems so highly inappropriate that kind of rhetoric can be spit out in America when we have that whole pew-pew problem here. You know, we have that. That's an issue. That's a real issue. And people are instigated and believe in full faith. Like, they pledge allegiance to this absolute filthy... Is that A1 sauce behind him? A1 sauce behind him? My God. What a disgusting setup. I'm sorry. You got millions of dollars. You got a fucking half-drank bottle of A1 sauce behind you? Is that what he runs on? Is he's like, you know... You heard of Pete's Red Hot. I put this shit on everything. But have you ever heard of A1 sauce? Come here. Do you need to go out? Come over here. Don't look at me like that. What a weirdo. What a weirdo. Do you need to go? Hold on, I gotta take this dog out. Don't anybody go anywhere. I'm taking attendance. I'm not taking attendance, but just don't go anywhere. Asmongold got no sauce. He's got no sauce, but he has A1 back there. He's got no Riz. Hold on. Come on. Come on. You little Jim Henson creature shop. Look at mine. There you go. Okay, but the shocking thing, he has better teeth than me. Yeah, because he's got more money. He can afford to go to the dentist. I got a dead tooth because I can't afford, because I got elbowed once and fucking the dentist fucked it up. Like, I love how, like, that, like, is that how you judge people? You're like, he's got better teeth. Well, I hate to break it to you, then you should admire everybody in Hollywood and think he's an absolute shitbag. Because, number one, I have better hair, better jawline, let's say that. But if that's your shallow and hollow way to fucking judge people and not on the things he says, you know, because if you think this guy's going to the front lines of anything, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure he's scared of water. Come here. Good girl. Come over here. That A1 expired in 2018. I believe that. I believe that. Oh my God. He is a trash human. But what I wanted to say was the amazing thing about this kind of privilege, the privilege of being a far-right, white, twatsy-esque person in America, is his ban was for 7 days. That's it. I'm sure he'll learn a lesson. I'm sure that will teach him. There's just no accountability for a lot of people, and it's, you know, it should destabilize the whole thing, you know? Like, this, with the lack of accountability, with just like the Epstein files, like, that should destabilize a country, you know? Like, a country should be uproarious, understanding that the laws that have been potentially broken because the DOJ was like, we're not investigating this. So that just means, like, we don't even care enough to investigate, to even find out if, you know, children were harmed, or if the survivors' stories are true, or if the president did commit these heinous acts. Like, they don't even care. That alone should be like, oh, then there's no laws for anyone. Because if you could do the most heinous stuff, like, then petty shit should be, you know, wiped away. Like, you shouldn't investigate that either. Like, this is destabilizing country effect fucking rulings on shit, you know, because he's just one of the biggest guys on Twitch is going on and saying that. How is he not held more accountable than, like, hey, you got a 7-day ban. I hope you learned your lesson. And the fact that his brain brought him to that conclusion and thought, like, here's the tough guy take. The tough guy take is you hurt the women and children. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And especially from a guy who looks like this. Talk about that MAGA person who is like, he's got better teeth than you. Like, dude. You know, he looks like a fucking extra in some fucking early 2000s punk pop video. You know, like he should be jumping around in some fucking Hollywood backyard by a swimming pool. But God knows he wouldn't be by a pool or probably ever have his shirt off anywhere. It's just so disgusting. Yes, I love Hassan, and I do defend Hassan. Are you a oh, it's that guy. It's that moron. Never mind. Never mind. That guy, I'm not going to argue with a moron. If you know what Mark Twain said, you'll drag me down to your fucking position and beat me with experience. I just can't argue with morons. You saw the rich white dude crying? Awesome. Oh, I didn't even play the Trump thing. Hold on, I gotta play the Trump thing before we get into the queen of all YouTube. Hold on. You guys see this? Mamdani is trying to expand the tree canopy to 30% by 2040. Oh my God. And they're doing it, they're trying to prioritize neighborhoods with the least shade. Not only should we be doing this in every city in America, but we should also be putting solar over every parking lot and on every parking garage. Like solar should just be set up everywhere so everything can run off of solar. And for the Republicans in the chat, don't worry, when the sun goes down, we have batteries to store the energy. What else? There was more. There was more. Where is it? Wait, I think I have a Hassan thingamado. I do, but I don't know if I have the audio. I don't know what happened to the audio. Maybe I just didn't save it. Maybe I was spaced out. And then we'll talk. The founders warned us. This is a great article in Rolling Stone today. Let me just hit. Constitution was designed to protect the rights of people against the rise of a would-be tyrant. The founders understood that they were embarking on a rebellious project that had never succeeded as before, as John Adams scowled. There was never a democracy yet that did not commit self-harm. Their aim was to build a structure that could withstand the forces that destroyed democracies in the past. That's why the founders explicitly warned about the dangers of a demagogue, Donald Trump, the poison of hyperpartisanship, the corrosion effects of corruption and foreign influence, the emoluments one, the Qatari jet, the politicization, sorry, I got a burp too, of religion, and the erosion of the separation of powers. The politicization of a religion is what you see whenever Pete Hegseth talks about a crusade. Yeah, by those basic standards, we're living through the founders' nightmare. Not just a civic despair, but more. Start with the Declaration of Independence. It's an anti-colonial tirade against the Mad King. And read through the list of grievances against King George. The echoes are unmistakable. The founders accused him of cutting off trade with all parts of the world. Tariffs. He has obstructed the administration of justice. He has excited domestic insurrectionists amongst us. Sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people. ICE. Just in case we missed the point, the founders added this line. A prince whose character, thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant, is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Donald Trump. Every act defines a tyrant. This is a great article. Please go read it in Rolling Stone. Hamilton perfectly anticipated the figure of Donald Trump in a letter to George Washington circa 1792. When a man unprincipled in private life, desperate in his fortune, bold in his temper, possessed of considerable talents, despotic in his ordinary demeanor, known to have scoffed in private at the principles of liberty, and in public. Donald Trump was like, the Constitution shouldn't be a thing. When such a man is seen to mount the hobby horse of popularity, to join in the cry of danger to liberty, to take every opportunity of embarrassing the general government and bringing it under suspicion, to flatter and fall in love with all the nonsense and zealots of the day. Hold on, I can't read because of the chat. It may justly be suspected that an object is to throw things into his object is to throw things into confusion, that he may ride the storm and direct the whirlwind, which is hauntingly eerie to what Steve Bannon has said. That the whole point, the reason Trump had Bannon in there was to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, so much stuff that the media couldn't, the 24-hour news cycle couldn't keep up with it. They were throwing more than one thing a day, so it just becomes a whirlwind, and he could ride the storm. That is haunting. This is a great, great article in Rolling Stone today. Please check it out. I wanted to show you that. Also, the U.S. Appeals Court blocks Trump's $400 million White House ballroom project. It's amazing how beautiful this looks. You know, this is looking good, America. But they didn't block them building in the basement the big data, whatever it is, the military data farm that Palantir is probably putting in there. Here's the guy. Oh, poor guy. John Gannon. All right. You know what he looks like. He looks like a Pokemon who de-evolves into a toad. Looking good, sir. Looking good. How long's that tie today? You know? I wish we could trick wealthy people or people who wear suits into believing like that should be a cultural thing. Like the longer and bigger the tie is, the more prestige you have. A long tie is a sign of wealth. Can we get that thing going? How do you start something viral? You know, we gotta have someone really rich wear an oversized tie, and women be like, "Wow, that guy must be important." I think that's how virality starts. We gotta do that so we can trick all wealthy people into wearing big bozo style ties everywhere. Wouldn't that be fucking? Come on, guys. Whether you're MAGA or not, that's funny. Because let's face it, if you're MAGA, you're not wearing a suit. You know, you don't wear a suit. Maybe overalls, not a suit. But wouldn't it be funny if we could trick these rich people into thinking like very oversized ties, like too long and too wide, were a sign of prestige? You know, were a sign of elite status. Were what the royal monarchs wore. I think that would be so funny. And come on, this is one thing we can all get along on. We can all come together and agree that just making these people look a little bit dumber, like when Marco Rubio was wearing them big size, goofy ass clown shoes around because Donald Trump was like, I could guess anyone's shoe size. And he was like, I bet you could guess mine, sir. He was like 13 and a half. And Marco was like, oh, God damn, I'm size 8. You're right. You got it. Nail on the head. He's like, I've already got them shipped to you. My buddy Jeff Bezos is sending them now. He's 1 hour shipping them to you. You know, don't worry. The humans that do that will bleed lightly. I just think that'd be great if we could do that. I feel Storms Hadex. That's an interesting name. I feel like I was saying this months ago. The Declaration of Independence perfectly describes Trump. Yeah, read that declaration. What's up, virtual reality for me? That better than? What? Dennis, wow. Everybody's shocked at how dumb Dennis is. That's impressive, Dennis. So you got a whole chat being like, wow, pretty stupid, Dennis. That can't be the first time, huh? I gotta say, congratulations, Dennis, on stupidest comment of the day. I didn't even get to see it, but amazing, amazing. You're bringing people together, Dennis. I love it. I love it. Everybody's like, woof. God, that guy's got a couple of brain cells left. Don't use them all typing away, Dennis. We need you to reserve some of those. He said enforce the Communist Act. Okay, thank you, friend of the show. Are you a friend of the show? Did you hit subscribe and notification bell? You don't have my attention, trust me. Once enough people start saying, wow, that was stupid, I stop reading the comments out of your mouth. Anyways, let's listen to this clip of Donald Trump.
Last question for you. If Democrats do take over the House, it's just going to be investigation mania. You know, they're going to do oversight. They could impeach you again. I mean, do you think they will?
Well, a lot of people are saying I'm one of the greatest presidents ever.
They're not saying that, though.
That's the only way to handle this. I hate these qualifiers that Donald Trump does. You hear it all the time, and MAGA falls for it all the time. By the way, friend of the show, thank you for saying I got you. I seen that. I was just letting the audio play. I'm a professional over here, kind of. Not really, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm a internet guy. I could do a few things at once. That's what we're all getting the ADD for, right? It's the tinfoil in the vaccines that gives it to us, I believe. I don't know. RFK Jr. is a brainworm, so he's untrustable. Anyways, just don't take Tylenol. I'm pretty sure that's what the president told us, right? Didn't he say that at one point? Remember? He went on TV and he started yelling about some shit where it was like, what?
Don't take Tylenol.
Yeah, that's going to be a clip for the history books. You know, George Washington couldn't tell a lie, chopped down the cherry tree. Donald Trump was like, don't take Tylenol. I love it. I love it. But anyways, when Donald Trump says this qualifier, and I wouldn't trust many people who do this, you know, he's one of the most notorious qualifying statementers.
Well, a lot of people are saying
A lot of people are saying, no, they're not. Give us the names. Show us a room full of people where you can go, am I the greatest president ever? You know, and everybody raise their hands outside of your cabinet meetings where they're basically forced to, you know, sniff your panties or lose their job. I hate qualifiers. I hate when people are like, everybody's saying it, you know, because it's like whether it's fucking ice cream flavors or a movie, something smells hinky about, you know, everybody's saying The Odyssey is the greatest movie ever. Really, everybody? Everybody's saying that? Even the people who didn't see it? Like, shut the f up. And Donald Trump constantly does this because simple brain people who hear that, it's like a Pavlov's Dogovian bell for them to start salivating of their brain like, oh, everybody believes that? Okay, I do too, I do too, I do too. And there are people that fall for that. That's why he does it, you know? Isn't that right? That's right, Scooby. I'm not Scooby, you're Scooby. Okay.
One of the greatest presidents ever.
They're not saying that though.
I love it. And then he's like, they're not saying that. That's why I asked you about impeachment. Listen to the whole clip.
Last question for you. If Democrats do take over the House, it's just going to be investigation mania. You know, they're going to do oversight. They could impeach you again. I mean, do you think they will?
Well, a lot of people are saying I'm one of the greatest presidents ever.
They're not saying that though.
But they know, they see the results. Look,
They do see the results. They're like, there's a lot of people dying needlessly in this country, including ice marking people on the streets. And we're in a forever war again, and gas prices are up, and food costs are even better. And the jobs report was not good today, if you're just wondering. So what about, is it the best, that you're the best at protecting the PDF files in the Epstein files? Is that it? So when you hear a qualifier, just beware, folks. When you hear somebody saying, everybody's saying this new Superman ice cream flavor is the best, don't take their word for it. You know, try it for yourself and have your own opinion. You know, like if you're paying more at the pump than you were before, and your whole thing was Donald Trump's going to bring energy prices down, that's what he promised. Or if you're a person who is like, I don't want a Middle Eastern war, and Donald Trump said they're the pro-peace ticket, and Kamala Harris will drag us into World War III. And now you see what is actually going on. Like, it's okay to be like, oh, shit, he's not the best. You know, you could just start with that. Just start with, he's not the best. Everybody's saying it, I'm the best president ever. And he goes, not everybody's saying that. Actually, contradiction. The reason I asked you about impeachment, sir, was because not everybody's saying. The impeachment wouldn't be even on the table or mumbled in this interview if everybody was saying you're the best. That's how that works, you know?
Impeach you again. I mean, do you think they will?
well, a lot of people are saying I'm one of the greatest presidents ever.
They're not.
That's not a fucking answer to will they impeach you again. You see how it's just distraction politics? He doesn't answer the question. He just goes, well, a lot of people are saying I'm the best thing to ever happen. What do you think of that? And his answer was spot on. The reporter, who I think is friendly to Trump, was like, oh, no, not a lot of people are saying that. In fact, that's why I got to ask you this. Whew.
They're going to do oversight. They could impeach you again. I mean, do you think they will?
Well, a lot of people are saying I'm one of the greatest presidents ever.
They're not saying that though.
Are the people in the room right now with us, sir? The lot of people that are saying that? Or are they only in the rooms when you're at Mar-a-Lago? Are they in those rooms at Mar-a-Lago? Or are they in your cabinet meeting? Is that when a lot of people are saying it, sir? Is it Elon Musk? Let's be honest. Is a lot of people just Elon Musk? Is he saying that you're the best president? Remember when Elon Musk was like, Trump's in the Epstein files, have a good day. And he didn't even tell us that he's in the Epstein files? The most desperate, pathetic. Hey, Jeff Epstein, it's me, Elon. What are you doing on Christmas morning? These kids are driving me bananas, you know? What a pathetic chode. Anyways. Sorry you have to live in Ohio, Chris. I live in California. I love walking out my front door. California is beautiful. Beautiful. Zed's here. Zed is just a xenophobe of all sorts. Just very scared of anything besides what Donald Trump has confirmed is good for him. Zed, go say that in a small country town. What did he say? Electric cars are garbage. Oh, Zed hates Elon Musk. Welcome, Zed, to the fucking Elon Musk is a moron live. Here, I got a tweet for it. Don't worry, Zed. I hear you barking, doggy. And here it is. Believe what you see, not what you're told. Okay, I've been told you're a genius, but all I've ever seen is you behave like a fucking moron. Ain't that the truth? Elon Musk. I'd watch what you say, you dummy. You dummy. By the way, don't forget about this. When the White House tweets, this is one of the most talented teams ever to serve the U.S. and in the United States government. America's safer and stronger. Yeah, I'm sure we're much safer. We're just fucking poking the beehive of the Middle East. But they're saying that, and they have over 30 people employed in the administration who used to work for a TV station, Fox News, that had to pay $787 million for lying to its viewers. And you believe this? You know, it's a reality TV star. The Apprentice is Donald Trump, you're fired. Surrounded by Fox News, you know, weekend hosts. Doggy, do you have to sit here? Do you have to sit here? This is so hard. This is so hard to do. Yeah, so hard. This is so hard to do a live stream. Musk is a bitch. It's bitch made. Okay, so I want to play that for you. Now, can we get into the queen of YouTube? Fascinating, because I promise you, dumbass, there's not much socialists in your village government. Right. Favorite band, Nirvana or Tupac? What's your favorite band? XV2817. What's your favorite band? Tell me. All right, this is BJ Investigates. I mean, that's a prize witness. I think she has 2 accounts. The queen of YouTube, undoubtedly. Please don't call Fox News. It's propaganda. I'm sorry. You're right. Fox propaganda. You like Black Sabbath? That's a good pick. Is that it? Bunch of Clowns? Is that a band? I'm just kidding. I know. Fox News is a bunch of clowns. I like do that literal sarcasm thing, if you haven't picked up on it. Sweet Leaf, baby. Sweet Leaf? Sweet Leaf, baby? Is that faux news? Oh, I like that. Your policies are literally killing people in front of me. Yeah. Black Sabbath song. Black Sabbath song. Do you not believe that they like Black Sabbath? How can you not like a little War Pigs? Hold on, let me pull up BUNKBED COFFIN's War Pigs real quick. While we're talking about never-ending wars. And I can't type with you in my lap, you dum-dum. Oh my God, this dog. Here is
if you think you might need mental.
Here's friend of the show, BUNKBED COFFIN, link in the description. If you can't hear it, just let me know. He does a cover of War Pigs. Great, great cover. If you like grunge and stuff, go check out BUNKBED COFFIN. I don't play music that much anymore because it doesn't play. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm having my phone. We can pick up the audio. Here.
Gathered in a mass house, just like witches and black mass sales. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer, death construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bunky, for letting me play that stuff. He allows me. He allows it, YouTube. Calm yourself. All right, let's get into the Perez Hilton stuff, okay? So don't forget, Donald Trump, a lot of people saying he's the best president, but not really. Not a lot. The interviewer had to correct him. Fafau person of the day, John Gannon, 75-year-old who married a 45-year-old Venezuelan, and then they went to the airport and his wife got detained by ICE, and now he doesn't know where she is. Just buy a new one, John. Just buy a new one. And he did a bitch-made interview on CBS this morning where he didn't act like Liam Neeson from Taken, which is my suggestion. If I was his PR guy, you can hire me, John. I cost a lot of money, though. I would have had you watch Liam Neeson's role in Taken multiple times, and then you would have just, when they asked you the first question, you would have said, "Excuse me, Bob," and he would have been like, "My name is Juan Jose Rivera," and you would have said, "Excuse me, Bob, which camera are we talking to?" And you would have looked directly into the camera like Liam Neeson and just quoted line for line that script where he's like, "I have a very particular set of skills," and then ended it. You would have not have cried on camera like a bitch-made man. You would have given a manser. And then what else was in the news? Asmongold banned for 7 days, so the internet gets a little mouthwash for a week. We get to clean it out for a bit. Cake is the best version yet. You know the cake version? That's a deep cut. Cake is the best version. Cake is the vet. If you haven't heard Cake's version of War Pigs, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Okay. And now we're going to do That Surprise Witness TV. Go check her out. BJ Investigates at Surprise Witness, at That Surprise Witness. This is the queen of YouTube. Whether, regardless of whether or not you agree with her points, she brings receipts, she brings details. I feel like this woman is willing to reckon with her mistakes and admit so, which I believe gives people good character. And speaking of that, I was wrong the other day. I trusted the mainstream media and I gave Perez Hilton a little too much credit when citing the news saying, oh, his kids weren't in the home. And I said my only issue with Perez Hilton and, you know, that absolutely fucking disgusting live stream was that he didn't, well, a big issue of mine with these celebrities, these people with ultimate wealth, ultimate name that gives them access to things that us regular folk have a hard time accessing, like mental health care or getting in somewhere right away, is that he didn't utilize that before he potentially harmed many, many people with those visuals. But now I got some more issues, and that is thanks to the queen of YouTube, Miss BJ, That Surprise Witness. I'm just gonna play a little bit of this because I don't know what she found the statement to the family, which listen, I ain't digging for that. You know, if it hits my feed, I'll read it. But unless I'm really into a story, I just fuck, man. This Perez Hilton thing is fuck. Just disappear from the internet. I know that's how he makes his money, but at this point, bro, like, you know, tap out, call it quits. This broke your brain. Get the fuck out. Do yourself a mental favor. And, you know, especially if you have kids. Like, if you got kids and this is where it led you, bro, this is not a healthy career for you. Let's just say that. But BJ exposes some interesting stuff.
Everybody, I'm here to double down. Most of y'all did appreciate my opinions, my commentary on the recent Perez Hilton video that I made. I thought I did a pretty good job of kind of staying somewhat neutral in the situation, despite my very negative bias and very negative feelings toward Perez Hilton's past behaviors, and frankly, some of the behaviors he exhibited during his, we'll say, episode.
And that's the other thing. BJ knows a little more. She's a little more educated on me than Perez Hilton's filthy past. I only knew some of it, but some of the things she talks about is Perez Hilton releasing photos of like Britney Spears, certain celebrities when they were underage, and probably not good to put that kind of photo out. So, you know, I frown heavily on that, but I do think that people can change, and I think if that was a long time ago and he's worked hard to not be that, then I give him credit. But again, I don't know. It's just my opinion on hypotheticals.
On his live stream the other night, but some facts have changed. Some of the facts that are publicly known have changed, and I wanted to update y'all on that. And I also wanted to double down on my position. There were quite a few comments. And I'm going to say probably, I'll give the benefit of the doubt and say probably the comments for the most part were well-intentioned. I do understand that there is a...
See, she seems so level-headed. Like, I love that. She's like, I understand the comments were well-intentioned, which, if I think she's from the South, I think sometimes the South can use that as like a, oh, you're so well-intentioned, as a little like, fuck you, dummy. You know, and I don't know. I'd love to talk to BJ because I think she is from the South. It's not on full display, but there's something in the twang in her voice sometimes, and just the language she uses where I can't pick up if it's sarcasm. I think it's genuine, but like here in the North, we'll say certain things and it's clearly sarcastic, you know? And I think well-intentioned is maybe one of those Southern colloquialisms where it's like, bless your heart. Like, oh, you're so well-intentioned. And I could be wrong, but I might start using that. I might have to use that, you know? Like, who's the magas in the chat? You know, I'd be like, oh, you're so well-intentioned. You're so well-intentioned. We got to use that. Wait, is there a racist in the chat? Where? We can't think. If they're using clear, like if they're dog whistling Dixie over here, then, you know. I dragged Nolan Welsh in the water. What is that? A beginning of a horror movie? Hi, I've been a fan of your while. I just wonder if you could answer one question with me. No, I don't know them. It seems like the people on Twitch, the bots on Twitch, where they're like, hey, it's my friend's birthday. Will you shout him out? And it's like, oh, God, why do I get one of these every time I'm on Twitch? By the way, I think Jess is on Twitch right now, live streaming, so do it. He's the racist. Where? He. What? The damn Spanish Scandinavians. Spain is being punished by the U.S. and Israel, yes. Where's Spain and Scandinavia? Those damn. iDrag. Who's iDrag? Oh, iDragged? Oh, really? He's only typed to once. I don't get it. Don't ban him unless he drops some shoot, you know? All right, anyways, back to BJ. The well-intentioned. We don't know, Virtual. Maybe iDrag is well-intentioned. You know, bless his heart.
Massive mental health stigma, not only in this country of the United States of America, but also across the world. If anyone has ever had a mental health moment or diagnosis or episode, we can say, pretty much that's held against them for the rest of their lives.
I was saying this the other day. Good point, BJ. Thank you. I was saying this, you know, that the American culture does not respect any kind of mental illness. In fact, it punishes it. Punishes it severely, you know? Just look at the homeless people and how Republicans treat the homeless, which there's a lot of people with, whether it's health issues, mental health issues, or just some kind of issues as, you know, inhuman, as trash. And that's sad, man, you know, and it's not right. But we got to work to change that.
And I often rally against that. I mean,
yeah, BJ. This is why I love BJ. Queen of YouTube.
If you follow this channel for any length of time, really, you will notice that one of the things that I stand the most firmly on is that people should be allowed to make their own decisions, their own choices, and importantly, their own mistakes. If that means they end up in a bad or precarious position, then so be it. But what I always say is, as soon as those self decisions for your own self start to infringe upon someone else's rights, as soon as you start to harm another person, or importantly, as soon as you are committing a crime, you should have to deal with the consequences of that.
Yeah, I don't think mental health excuses you from hurting other people. I agree with that. Another great point. She makes so many great points. You should check out BJ's channel.
I do not think. I think it's very dangerous. I think it's very dangerous, and I'm absolutely opposed to this sort of dual system of justice that has begun to permeate pretty much the entire criminal justice system. And
I got to pause for a friend of the show, because he's a friend of the show, or she's a friend of the show. You're right. I love when people bring up, like, socialism killed millions of people. What do you think capitalism is doing? 64,000 fucking people a year die in America because of their lack of access to healthcare. Like, you can't play that game. Capitalism has killed so many fucking people needlessly in the name of profits. You know, like a Rage Against the Machine song. Thank you, friend of the show. I love when people point that, like, take that point to that point, because they're always like, oh, communism, and it's like, oh, you think capitalism is it? I'm sorry.
particular in Florida, where if somebody has mental health diagnosis, they pretty much get a different system of justice.
You could also say that about the Epstein clients. They get a different system of justice, which is they don't have to face any justice. You could say that too. Don't forget, they're keeping the Epstein files hidden from us illegally. Donald Trump is breaking the law. 3.5 million documents of the Epstein files are not being released, with many gigabytes of videos and photos.
Than people who don't. I don't think.
Oh, and that's right. It's because Donald Trump is best friends with Epstein. He wished Ghislaine Maxwell well when she went to prison, and he doesn't wish anybody well. So it's probably because, you know, they're covering for him.
That is okay. The 14th Amendment of the United States of America the Constitution of the United States of America and the Bill of Rights does not guarantee that everybody gets different rights. No. Everybody, no matter if you have a mental health condition, no matter if you have a diagnosis, no matter if you're black, white, no matter if you are black, white, another race, which religion, which place of national origin, it doesn't matter. Everyone is supposed to be treated the same under the law. That includes Perez Hilton. So I'm not necessarily...
Yeah, but you forget, he is a rich white guy, BJ. I would just like to interject. Rich white guys usually don't face the law the same. Most of the time. Depending on their wealth, Depending on what level of wealth, they don't really face the same justice system.
Really going to say he definitely...
You do know that the president has 34 felonies, never went to jail. Like, how do you get that many felonies and not serve, like, even a day? Do you know anybody with 34 felonies who isn't in prison? Okay.
Committed a crime, because that's for a jury or a judge to decide. But what I am saying is, when I saw all these comments of people, and I think it was well-intentioned, people saying things like,
Friend of the show, I hope you've hit notify to all, because that's a great... Mussolini knows, I think, or something or two about fascism, I'm told. Great comment. Go look up Mussolini. That's the thing I forgot about yesterday when I was playing the audio of the Cato Institute being like, Donald Trump is buying private companies. The government owns 30 different equity shares of fucking private companies. I'm like, you could use that as like a socialism fear tactic, like, ooh, the government's going to run the grocery stores. Is that communism? Or you could go, hey, this is Mussolini's takeover of fucking corporations working hand in hand with the government. I don't know. We'll see. We'll roll the dice and see which one pawns out.
Had sepsis. Perez Hilton had sepsis. So he's obviously going through post-sepsis psychosis.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward this a little bit because I forgot she did the sepsis thing. I want her to read the Perez Hilton statement from the family because that's where it gets damning.
Absolutely. But we're now learning through statements from his own family.
And mind you, when I was, talking about this, I don't remember what day this happened. When I was talking about the Perez Hilton thing, it said his kids were not in the home. And I just trusted media to know right away, which they just don't do their due diligence. They just don't. You got to leave it to the YouTubers like BJ on that surprise witness because she's good. And I mean, this could have been easy for, the media, the mainstream media, the Joe Rogans of the world to figure out. They could have said, reports right now don't know if the kids were home. People are telling us that they weren't, but, we'll wait. We'll wait and find out. News at 6 or 11, whatever time this happened. It's going to be after that.
On his own website. It's not true what we were told at first, that his kids were nowhere around and they had left and all of that. The children that Perez Hilton fathered through surrogacy were in the house when that episode started.
That's insane. His kids should be taken. Something like that's... When I talked about this, if you don't know the live stream that he was doing heinous things on, filleting himself, whatever. It was reported his kids weren't home, and I was thinking, because I looked up the kids' ages, and one of them's 13, so I was like, oh my God, this kid's gonna hear from his friends and look it up online and find this stuff, because the internet's forever, and that's gonna really damage his kid, but his fucking kids were home, and it's in the family statement. This is unreal. Here, this is where she reads it.
Dream incident. Perez's children and his niece, so another little girl, was in the house when he was doing all of that. Now remember, you might not know this. He came on to the live stream already covered in the red substance that the vampires drink, already with the instrument in his hand, which had effectuated the result that had been effectuated. He didn't start that process on the stream. What this leads me to believe is that he started that process in front of his children.
I don't know if you that's a bold statement, and you can only pray as one human praying for other humans that he didn't start that in front of the kids and then go on a live stream like that. I guess you hope for the best in this scenario, because that is So unnerving. And you would think if that is the truth, the kids, you'd hear them screaming in the background or trying to break down a door, or you know what I mean? Like that's my only thing. And this is why I say, like, BJ, you're the queen of YouTube. I love you bringing receipts. I love your bold takes. I love your ability to be wrong when need be. But I will disagree, because if you're saying that, you know, it leads you to believe that he was maybe doing that in front of the kids and then went on to a live stream, you would only think that people would be kicking that door in, or you know what I mean, like the police would have been there sooner, or the mental health team, or you know, like I can't imagine that his children, niece, and sister were in the home when it became clear that Perez was experiencing a severe mental health crisis and harming himself. They immediately fled to protect the children from witnessing any further trauma. But again, man, like if the sister's there, I don't know if that's happening to a family member. I'm not fleeing. You know what I mean? Like you're tackling, you're stopping it, you're doing every, I don't know. And this comes, I'm speaking from experience, okay? I'm speaking from very intimate experience with these kind of situations. Your natural reaction is not to run. It's to, you kids stay here, shut the door, everything's okay, and you go fucking stop whatever the fuck's going on, you know? So I just have to disagree, but my life experience has brought me to way different conclusions, and I'm talking from personal experience, where your first thing is like, save them. Save them, you know, they are a danger to themselves. You must fucking stop this and save them. You don't flee. You don't flee unless you don't give a shit, you know, unless you're like, it's bound to happen, you know, like unless that's your take, like you don't flee. You don't. You tell the oldest, you watch the youngest, you guys stay here, cover your eyes and cover your ears, cover everything, and I gotta go fucking handle some shit. Do not fucking come in there. You know, and you use the dad voice, the voice that's like, nobody's moving. Everybody's like, oh, butthole's puckered. What's going on? Okay. You know, and I say that because people in my family have lived through this, and their reaction was never to flee. It was, go stop.
Innocent, vulnerable, completely blameless children, including not only the ones he surrogated, but also his niece.
Imagine.
Oh God, why did it go to ad? Always an ad. Always an ad. But that was the part. I have an education at econ. Sit down. Snaps to you, Smoking Blondie. Chris, shut the fuck up. Adults are speaking. Yeah. Listen, go back to the kids' table, Chris. I don't know what they're talking about, but you know. Well, maybe Chris is well-intentioned. Bless his heart. I'm going to start using those Southern colloquialisms. Everyone reacts different to trauma. That is true. This is where I could be wrong. I could too. Listen, I'm giving you my opinion on my life experience. That is true. Smoking, another good point. Not saying that's the right thing, just speaking as a mental health professional. Thank you, left-leaning Lizzie. Yeah, here's the thing. Well, some people have repeated attempts and it burns a family out, and protecting the kids becomes a priority for some. And you're totally right. You guys could be right too. We're all, you know, giving our hypothesis on fucking this symposium of self-harm. So who knows? You know, who know? And again, this is a report from the family, which we, you know, and the family's enduring a trauma. So who knows how they're trying to position it? And it's probably written by like a PR guy. So you guys could be right. I'm just telling you from my life experience, it was not that, you know. And my life experience has biased me in those ways. So I think it's a good collaborative effort to acknowledge all the different takes, and you guys are right. You know, everybody does react differently to trauma. Sometimes families are burnt out. I've witnessed that too. One of the saddest things going on, one of my best friends, who's like a brother to me, people used to think we were brothers, going to his funeral. And I'll never forget talking to his mom after holding his 6-month-old baby, you know, just trying not to cry. And then I went and was talking to his mom, and she goes, well, he's not suffering anymore. And I was like, God damn, that's the realest fucking shit I've heard in a long time. You know, just the despair and grief in a mother's eyes, almost relieved that he's just not suffering, you know. So you guys are right too. I don't think anybody's wrong in this, and we won't know. That's one of the great mysteries of life. Sometimes you just don't know. That's it. That's it. All right. All right. Has everybody had a fun time? Did we wrap up on a good note? Jesus. I can't end the live stream like this, can I? I mean, legally I can. Capitalism fundamentally have to expand or it will eat itself. We're experiencing late stage of capitalism. Listen, capitalism is about exponential growth in a finite system. In nature, they call that cancer. Keep needing to grow with only a finite amount of resources. That's cancerous. And we could just, have universal health care instead of a trillionaire. But I guess some people are like, no, I really like Elon Musk having all the money, and telling me that it's my neighbor's fault. That works out for me, Okay, does it? Call me in 5 years. Damn, that's the truth, though. What's the truth, though? The truth is just, there could be many truths. Showing the potato can lighten the mood. Okay, left-leaning Lindsay, you got it. Come here. Come here, potato. Oh, come here. Good God. Good God. That will lighten the mood. Say bye to everybody. Yeah, okay. All right, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Captain Obvious. Thank you. Your friend's mama's wise words. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are hard. Those echo, those haunt me, because I was like, I wish I could have done something. There was a million things for me. Like, I didn't do enough. I should have done more. I'm not going to go into the specifics, and she was just like, at least he's not suffering. And I was like, oh. God damn. Oh, yep. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, been a pleasure. Good to see you, friend of the show, Smoking. Captain Obvious, Left-Leaning Lindsay. Everybody. Primal. Charlie Kelly, I love you. Who else? Everybody. Just everybody. Even the MAGA. Virtual reality for me. Even the MAGA. I'm glad MAGA comes in here and watches me. It's good for you. Hearing a difference of opinion, not being surrounded by Donald Trump. Everybody believes this, I'm not going to tell you everybody believes this. I'm going to say what I just like what I did, Sometimes it's messy, man. Life is messy. But there's one thing we can be positive on. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. There's no capitalism if there are monopolies that choke out the free market. That's true, CJ, and it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you in the live. I love seeing you here. So thank you. My Pacific Northwest friends. One day I'll make it out there. All right, guys.